Hi everybody, we have a good message for you. Enjoy.
Hi everybody, it's me again, Sean Brannigan. I'm like that bad penny, I always turn up. So around this time of the year, I just want to reach out and tell you I love you. I hope your family is doing well. I hope to all my friends and all my neighbors and really everyone in New Jersey, in the United States and around the world, love from us to you, and that's sincerely, spoken from the heart. We have a new commander-in-chief. Congratulations to Donald Trump. Whether you were a Hillary supporter or you supported the Donald, now the people have spoken. Let's move forward to make this country great again. I certainly respect the new president, and you better too. Otherwise, you're out of line. So I have a couple of great tips for you today. I'm going to reveal a few secrets just for my friends and family and for really all my listeners, okay, on how to beat a criminal case, like DUI, like possession, like assault. Let me tell you something. We all make mistakes, okay? That's everybody. The only mistake that really is a terrible one is the one you don't learn from. So during this proceeding, what I'm going to do is kind of tell you, cut right to the chase, and give you some tips on how to handle your interaction with police, how to avoid problems, and then, God forbid, if you do have a problem, how to resolve it in a manner that's favorable to you. So you could go on to live your dreams and be a doctor and be a president and be a CEO and whatever it is you want to do. The greatest joy I have as an attorney, especially a criminal attorney, is when a former client visits me in his Marine Corps uniform or sends me a business card. I just got a business card sent in the mail to me this week from a physician who was able to avoid a criminal conviction on his record that would have served as a roadblock to him in life. Because we all make mistakes, but we learn from them, okay? So everybody's worth defending. You are definitely worth defending. So no matter how rich you are or how poor you are, you always want to move forward and protect yourself, okay? So let's get right to it. All right, again, my name is Sean Brannigan. I'm a criminal attorney in the state of New Jersey. A couple of things I just want to point out, not to be redundant, because it's a little bit of common sense, all right? Around this time of the year, we get to a little letting our guard down, enjoying friends and family, sometimes drinking, sometimes indulging in a little joint, a little weed, a little cannabis, some yes, some no. By the way, this isn't just for my friends and family. Please, don't be afraid to like and share this, because I charge a lot of money for my time because I work very hard. I want to also cut right to the chase and give back and try to help you actually avoid problems, because that's really my first point, is prevention. You know, in medicine, much like in law, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, okay? So to all my sober people out there, feel free to like and love that, okay? I don't drink, I don't use drugs, and I don't smoke. That's number one. If you don't drink and you don't use drugs, you will have your wits about you. And what I mean by that is you will have the sensory capacity to stop a problem before it gets out of control, okay? So you are the hands of God. God has given you sense and reasonability and rational appeal to others, okay? You lose that when you're under the influence. 86% of all convictions have one thing in common, that the party, known as the defendant, was under the influence of drugs or alcohol. So think about that. Okay, so moving forward, let's just say, God forbid, over the holidays or during, the next few months or really any time, you do have an interaction with the police, okay? People like Trayvon Martin, okay, was a tragic case, or Eric Garner, okay? And just so you know, if you like, you're not saying you agree with those cases, all right? I'm against excessive force, all right? But I'm for you, and I'm also for you. A lot of my clients are cops. Most are not, but I can tell you this. One thing that they have in common is they didn't handle the interaction correctly, all right? God forbid, I don't want anybody getting hurt. But especially unnecessarily. So the first thing I want you to do is prevent through sobriety, right? Don't break the law, obviously. That's the best recipe for success. But if and when you do have an interaction with law enforcement, whether you're at your home and one of your girlfriends or boyfriends or spouse, mother, son, etc., makes a domestic call and the policeman comes to investigate, be respectful. Okay? Be respectful. There's a law on the books, people. I want you to be aware of it. Whether or not you agree with the detention or with the investigation, whether or not, even if you're being wrongfully arrested, okay, you still have to comply with the arrest. Okay? So digest that. It's not smart to resist and to be rude. Okay? It doesn't necessarily mean I want you to incriminate yourself. We're going to talk about that in a second. What it means is just avoid trouble. Be respectful. Respect will get you everywhere. Okay? Growing up in Montclair, New Jersey, Northern New Jersey, YMCA, born and bred right here, we learn respect. We learn diversity. You know, these policemen want to go home. They want to arrest the bad guy. Don't be the bad guy. If you're going to have a legal problem, at least don't make it worse by resisting. Okay? So that's my number one thing. A lot of disinformation on the internet. Well, you don't have to give them your name. You got to demand the charge. No, you have to be capable of avoiding trouble. So please, like that, for those real OGs out there to take responsibility for their lives. As somebody right here who's been in trouble, the people I grew up with know this. I always had a good heart, but I got in trouble a couple times, and you know what? Well, the reason I became a lawyer is because I was honest about it, and I dealt with it with my lawyers. All right, so moving forward, one of the things I want you to keep in mind is when you have an interaction is to be compliant and respectful. Another thing is don't communicate too much. Anybody out here watch 48 Hours, the show 48 Hours after a homicide? I do. Cops love the show. What's the number one thing that all people that are arrested have in common? Did you guess? I know some of you guessed. People make a statement. That's right. Your knee-jerk reaction, kind of like when you hit a hammer, you know, when a doctor hits you in the knee with a hammer, boom, okay? Your knee-jerk reaction when you're accused of something is to tell the world why you're not guilty. That's not how it works, folks. This is America, so you're presumed innocent. So nothing can be inferred from your silence, okay? So let me reassure you of that reality. Don't say anything that would incriminate yourself. Ask for a lawyer. Demand a lawyer, okay? I'm one of them. It doesn't have to be me. It could be any attorney. Once you ask for a lawyer, once you become lawyered up, doesn't mean that you're guilty. It doesn't mean by pushing that button or making that request that you're guilty. Quite the contrary. You protect yourself from wrongful prosecution, okay? So let me break down a couple of things real quick just to cut to the chase, some tricks that I have for you, which really aren't tricks. You know, like Oprah Winfrey said, the only secret is that there's no secret, okay? So, but to cut to the chase, with DUI, okay? Let's say you had a couple of drinks and you're driving home and you are stopped, God forbid. Don't make it worse by talking, okay? Don't say too much, all right? What will happen is you may be issued essentially tests to determine whether or not you're drunk or not, okay? In New Jersey, you have to be a .08 or more, okay? If you refuse to do a breathalyzer, that will actually be an ancillary charge called refusal. That's an additional 6 months loss of license, okay? So one of the things we do as attorneys, you have the right to plead not guilty, and we have the right to get an expert witness, review the report, to see if there's any loopholes or legal arguments that we can use to get you out of it, okay? Now, let's say you have an issue with like a controlled substance, like marijuana, heroin, cocaine, LSD, any kind of drug that you might be in possession of, CDS, steroids, Xanax. Remember, not all CDS is illegal. There's plenty of CDS out there that's prescribed medication. So whatever you don't have a prescription for, you could technically be arrested for, okay? So, by the way, shout out to everybody out there watching, all right? Don't be shy, please, like it. Personally, I like all your stuff. I'm very supportive to all my brothers and sisters out there. I want you to feel free to comment. I will personally email you back. And just so you know, I never betray you. Your secrets die with me. Just because I'm your hometown hero, and just because I live in the same town called Montclair, I serve the entire state of New Jersey. These lovely men behind me, and there's 6 other men just like me. We serve the entire state, okay? We're all very good trial lawyers, and we try our best to get the cases dropped. That's what I'm trying to tell you today. There's a couple of tricks. God forbid if something goes wrong, okay, you're ready. You want to be ready. You know, like the Boy Scouts. Always be prepared. So let's move on. So with CDS, one of the things you want to keep in mind is if you're going to transport something illegal, if you were, I'm not advising that you do that. I'm an officer of the court. So I can advise you to do anything or how to do something illegal. However, the Supreme Court has held that your wingspan is searchable in your vehicle. What does that mean? Your wingspan. If you look at me, my knuckles practically drag on the ground, almost like an orangutan, like a chimpanzee, like a primate. Yes. Okay. My wingspan, as well as your wingspan, even if you're short, whether you're a midget or whether you're a giant, is determined to include the entire car, the entire interior. So the glove box, the console, the back seat, in between the back seats, you know, you ever kind of stick your hand in there and find a quarter when yeah. The entire car is searchable when there's probable cause. You know what's not? For you Jay-Z fans out there, who can make me a comment? What's not searchable? For any Jay-Z fan might know this. You're gonna have to have a warrant for that, right? The trunk, right? So if you're gonna roll with something against the law, sometimes you can prevail on something called an illegal search, and we can fight this by doing what's known as a motion to suppress the evidence based on an illegal search and seizure, okay? If you feel like you were pulled over or stopped illegally because of your race, because of your ethnicity, because of your religion, that's not a valid stop. So we can fight that as well. We'll talk about that in another episode. I just want to kind of give you a couple of defenses moving forward now into the drug case. Let's say you were taken into custody. One of our major defenses is in New Jersey, you have to have a certified laboratory report showing and proving beyond a reasonable doubt what the CDS is. So if it's marijuana, it's not enough that the cop thinks it's marijuana. It's not enough that the pharmacist goes, it's not even enough if Jimmy Garcia was raised from the dead and smoked it with you. It's still not considered marijuana until and only if a certified laboratory report from the New Jersey State Police chemically analyzes it and determines what it is, okay? Absent that certificate, guess what we do? We motion to dismiss. That's what you want. You don't want a lawyer that's going to go in there and plead you guilty. You want a lawyer that's going to fight for you, whether it's this firm or someone else. What I promise you want to do is get the case dismissed. That's the ultimate outcome of any criminal case, okay? So, that said, we have the laboratory defense, the laboratory report. For those of you who don't know, anybody who's kind of like a criminal law nerd like me, you might want to look up SHA and NJ State Police, and you'll find out some pretty disturbing evidence. The fact is, we had a laboratory tech in the state police, very high ranking, falsify over 5,000 cases worth of CDS. Basically just stamped them Positive, positive, positive. All those cases were overturned. Okay? What that's created now, for guys like me, is a very reasonable doubt as to whether or not you are guilty of CDS. So what I do is I keep them honest. I'm prepared to go to trial. I'm prepared to fight for you. You know that. I like to fight. I like to fight the power. I like to fight tyranny. Okay? Because at every party, somewhere, probably out in the garage or in the basement, somebody's smoking a joint. Okay? Now, just because I'm sober doesn't mean that I judge my fellow people. If, hey, look, you got a case. What you do is with me is you retain me to keep your secret, and God willing, get your case dismissed. All right, so that's a couple of the ways. We got a motion to suppress. We got a motion to basically attack the probable cause of the stop. Okay? These are weapons that we use in your defense. Okay? So before you go thinking that you can talk your way out of trouble, there's an old statement in criminal law. You can talk yourself into trouble, but not out of it. So please, have a great holiday season. Please eat tons of turkey, watch football, put your legs up, elevate your legs. By the way, for anybody who's gonna watch the Cowboys game on Thanksgiving, I wanna like this video, please. I'm asking you again, shamelessly asking you with humility. All right, all you Cowboys fans, and all you Cowboys haters out there. All right, I'm a Giants fan, but you know what that means. But I love all sports. Want to know why? Because sports bring us together with healthy competition, okay? A true All-American athlete will help another one up. You know, the best athletes on the field, okay, are the ones that support one another. Even, you know, when the jerseys come off, we're all just brothers out here and sisters, okay? So just keep your wits about you during these days, okay? Enjoy Christmas, enjoy your New Year, have a great New Year's Eve party. But look, we have Uber. Take care of yourself, okay? And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just kind of introduce my man right here. This is Frank. Frank, do you have any tips for anybody out here?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's very important to take his advice and not say anything, but in a criminal stop, you also have to remember, if a cop pulls you over, he has a video camera on his cruiser, and so you are being recorded. So act accordingly. It's also important to watch your conduct. You know, don't reach for anything suddenly to give the cop any reason that you're trying to hide anything. When he comes up to your window, turn the inside light on so he can see that there's nothing hidden in the shadows of your car. Don't give him any reason to question your innocence or, you know, your status as a law-abiding citizen. Okay, if he's walking away, he might not have his eyes on you, but the camera does. So if you have to lean up against your car so you don't wobble over, then you lean up against your car. Remember, you're always being recorded, so it's not only important to watch what you say, it's important to watch how you act.
Now, well said. He's a very good lawyer right here. I only travel with the best. So I can promise you one thing. If you call us at that number, and you know me, because you see my big ass walking up and down the street all the time, I'm very reachable, 24 hours a day. Everybody here knows, hey Jason, when does your cell phone ring?
Sometimes at midnight.
All right. Jason Steinberg right here is like my right-hand man. He's an excellent lawyer. Jason, do you have any tips for our brothers out there?
I do actually. A lot of times when I'm in court, what I'll see people do, not only pro se people, but sometimes even people who have lawyers, make sure that when you're talking with that prosecutor or the judge, that you don't say something that could prove yourself guilty. You always want to try and remain silent and let your lawyer do the talking. And I'll give you one very short, concrete example. I was in court once with somebody who was there pro se, no lawyer, and he received a cell phone ticket. And he was so convinced that he was not using his cell phone because he didn't physically pick his cell phone up and use it. Instead, his cell phone was on his steering wheel, and he was talking through the cell phone on the steering wheel. By his own words of trying to explain his situation to the judge, he was found guilty at a trial. So just be very careful what you say when you're in court.
Well said. Well said. Let me tell you, these are lawyers right here. We don't want you, we'd rather you stay out of business. Just like a good doctor wants you to stay out of his office. Stay healthy. Stay healthy. But when you have a problem, don't give up. Raise up the flag, but not the white flag, the black flag. Now, do you have any words of wisdom, my friend?
I got some words of wisdom. Listen to the big guy. He's been doing this a long time. He knows his stuff.
That's sweet. That's very sweet. Yeah, look, as you know, I'm here for you. I've been doing this a long time. All right. When you get to be an old tired lawyer like me, you want to see people do well. I mean, really, I'm not a hater. I want to see you get through the case with a dismissal. And that's the God's honest truth. Because it gives me pleasure to see someone achieve in life. And when you catch charges, it really does weigh on you, the uncertainty of it all. And I've been through it as a professional and as a person too. And I can tell you this, you need someone in your corner that's going to be loyal to you when you're out of the room, when you're not in the room. And what I mean by that is, you know, some of these lawyers out here are tired. They're tired and they're not connected to you, okay? So when you're not in the room, what they do is they basically kind of talk with the prosecutor. That's where the decisions are made. And sometimes a rush to a plea is happening. You know, that's what happens. So we don't want that. This is my man Ryan, another Essex County man right here.
That's
Ryan,
correct.
you got anything to say?
Well, along the same points as some other attorneys in this room have made, it is essential that you are courteous, if you should give a order, that you're courteous with the police. You do not give them any back talk, insult them, call them various names, pork-related names, or what have you. But you do have a right to remain silent. So, at this one hand, you want to be courteous and polite. On the other hand, you don't want to incriminate yourself. So you want to walk that line. It's also important that you know that when you contact any of the lawyers at this building or our staff, that we have complete confidentiality with anything you tell us. You are free to tell us anything that relates to your case, and it cannot leave this office. We are protective of our clients' confidentiality. We are non-judgmental. So do not feel afraid to tell us what happened, because we need to know what happened to get you, or to build a good defense against your case. So just have that, just keep that in mind when you contact us, because we're not here to get you. We're not here to help you. We're not here to judge you. We're here to help you and solve your problems.
And on that note, by the way, I want you to also have a prosperous year. And part of that comes through positive energy. And so while I hold this money tree, I'm going to give this to my colleague here, Ryan. You know, we're all on your side, and we will be praying for you. And we want you to have a prosperous year. And we want you to avoid trouble and enjoy nature. You know, don't miss nature. Be kind to one another. Okay? Because we're just about to wrap up here. All right, I only got another minute or two at the most. So please, before we go, throw up a like. And for anybody who throws up a heart, or for anybody that has a question for me, inbox me if it's like something confidential, as Ryan said, very ably. Just inbox me, okay? But you'd be surprised when you communicate about what you're going through, you're not alone. Everyone's been through it. It's called life, okay? So we're not here to judge, we're only here to defend, okay? So remember that. You're not alone, all right? We love defending you, okay? That's what we're here for, all right? So I'm just gonna kind of take you back this way. And again, I just wanna thank you for tuning in. Please like the video, because without you, there is no us. So we're grateful to you. We love you. We want you to have a great time this holiday season and beyond. And on that note, we have our own Angela ready to close out for us. Angela?
We fight for you.